Hello, hello, big welcome. Thank you for joining the live. So good to have you. I'm glad that you could make it today. So today I am starting a beautiful page in Millie Marotta's Curious Creatures, and the picture that we are going to be coloring in is this long-eared jerboa. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. And I have up on my computer some pictures I found on Pinterest, so I would highly recommend when you're coloring these sort of pictures to get an idea or a reference photo, maybe one or two. Try and get the same orientation so you can just pick out your colors. I find that helps quite a lot. And so I've done that. I've got two options. One of the options is what I've got up in the community post. The other one is also on Pinterest that I found. It's a black and white photo. And I quite like that one. So I've used this black and white photo just to pull out some colors. Now I've got Prismas and polys. So if you are interested in the polys, you want to get out your ivory, your cream, your terracotta, sanguine, green gold, bister, nougat, walnut brown, cinnamon, and beige red. And that will be more or less the right colors for doing this picture. And then for Prismas, we need beige PC997, burnt ochre PC943, beige sienna PC1080, 935 black, 938 white, PC914 cream, PC939 peach, PC1034 goldenrod, PC946 dark brown, PC1085 peach beige, and then we also want blush pink PC928. And I'm going to use a variety of these along with my reference photo to try and create this beautiful page, and hopefully it will look good. I don't normally color Millie Marotta. I find all these small details a bit odd, but I'm looking forward to the challenge and hopefully we can get this going. So if you want to see my swatches, this is the colors for the polys, and then that is the swatches for the Prismas. The pink here is what we'll use for the ears, and then these different shades we'll use for the rest of the creature. So that's sort of give you an idea of the color palette. And I'm going to be hopping between Pinterest and the YouTube live just so I can keep an eye on what's going on. So hi Val, how are you? How was your week and your weekend? It's awfully hot. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come with my peach and I'm going to work a bit on the ears in here. And then what I'm going to do is lay down a base color and get a feel for this page. So we're gonna come in here. And I'm going to start working with a light layer, and I'm just going in slight small circles in a downward direction, and I will build up the layers as I go. Glad you're okay, Val. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you being here. So I'm not 100% sure if we color the spaces in between all these little details. I did have a look at an artist on not Pinterest, Instagram, art by Betty Hung. She does a few Millie Marotta pictures. A lot of them are birds. So I did have a look at how she did them, just to get an idea. But the style of the birds is a bit more connected with less space. So I think what I'm going to do is keep the outline, but on the inside I might color the spaces. I'm not 100% sure yet. Oh, Val, I'm sorry you've had a tough week. It's always hard. Okay, I've just flipped back to my reference photo. So here is we're going to color in with this peach as well. So the ears are quite pinky, with a bit of browns and grays in them. So we'll work on that sort of a style. Then I think we'll go to the nose and the eye, and we'll kind of work our way towards the tail. And the tail seems to be a bit more fluffy, a bit more creams, whites and dark browns. I'm going to come up here as well and just lightly put my layer down. And I think I'll move to the nose for this as well, because the nose will take the same color. So this isn't actually my coloring book. This is one of the boys' coloring books, but I did ask if I could do a page in here because I had a requested video, and they were very kind and said, yes, Mum, you can color a picture in. So I'm very appreciative to my boys. So Val, I had someone actually comment on one of the community posts and say that they would love to see how I tackle a Millie Marotta page. So that's how I got onto it, and I started it with just something simple. I picked this page because we had this book. I do have Millie Marotta's Animal Kingdom, but it's still in South Africa, along with a few other things which one day we'll actually get over here. Okay, so I'm going to come in with black, and in here I think I'm going to do his eye just very lightly. I think I'm going to make the whole thing black. So I thought because it's a requested video, I can do it as a live as well, and that way I've got something different to color, and I'm also meeting someone's request. So okay, so I'll build up the layers as we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pink, my blush pink, and I'm going to work through, and I'm going to also bring in the beige sienna and the dark brown. The dark brown is going to be for my deeper shadows. So if I take the beige sienna and I'm gonna come up here, and I'm going to create that the tips here will be lighter. So with this one, I'm actually really going to go slow and just take my time with it, because I do want to do the picture justice, and because it's also quite a different style. I'll come here a bit there, because it's just kind of bending away. Just ever so slight. And then in here, so this part, the second ear will be touching in here, so we might darken that up a little bit, but we'll see. A rule of thumb is generally where it's narrowest, that's where it's going to have a bit of a shadow. So we'll do a bit differently in here. The reference picture, if you go back into that community post, there should be a little arrow on the colored picture, the picture that we're coloring in, and you should be able to click across it, and it should show up. I haven't been able to get the software working on the laptop so I can share my screen. So what I do with the videos is I have a different app, and I use that app on my phone, and my phone goes through. But if you don't, I can bring the laptop underneath the camera and show you. It'll be very quick. That's probably the best option I've got for you. Okay, so one moment. Bulky laptop coming through. Oh, let's see if that works. There you go. So that's the picture. I think he's really, really cute. and I like the lighter shades of it. The one I put in the community post was a bit browner with more oranges, and although not wrong, I just thought this one was much sweeter. So if you go into Pinterest and you type in long-eared Jeroba, you should see it as well. Cool, glad that helped. Okay, so I'm gonna come in now with a bit of this brown. So this is the dark brown. I think here, if I was you, Val, I would be using either the nougat or very lightly the walnut brown. So I want to come along this line. Okay, and you'll have a little bit along this edge here. I don't know if these creatures would make good pets. I've seen quite a few of these. There's a couple of these pictures on Pinterest going with "don't get bitten" and all sorts, so I'm not sure if they would make good pets. They look really small as well. So I just want to do the tips. I've been watching coloralongs and other tutorials by more experienced colorists just to freshen up on my coloring skills, which actually has been quite helpful. Okay, so I'm going to come now with my blush pink. I don't know where these creatures live. Let me check. They might be in Africa or they might be in Australia. Jerboa facts. Let's have a look. They do live in desert areas near oases or valleys. Okay, let's open this up. Oh no, neither. Native to the deserts of northwest China and southern Mongolia, has a mouse-like body, rabbit ears, a snout like a pig's, and back legs that look like a miniature model of a kangaroo. So there we go. It lives in China and Mongolia. Okay, so I'm coming in with my blush pink and I'm gonna go over these. And these are also some of the colors I would use in skin tones. So I know that they blend really, really well. Sometimes I have to actually force myself to use colors outside of what I normally use them. So I normally would just use these colors, you know, bark, trees, skin tone. And sometimes I like these sort of pictures or suggestions because it forces me to get out of my comfort zone and try different color combinations in different ways. So I really enjoy that. Otherwise, it's so easy to get stuck in a rut. Okay, I'm going to bring in some more of the Beige Sienna. And the Beige Sienna just adds a bit of a grayish effect to the pink, which is what we're also trying to go for. I used to look for color palettes on Pinterest before coloring a picture. Sometimes it helps, but I've also learned how to, like with this one, I let the realistic photo pick the palette for me. So that video I just recently did about how I pick colors, that's the same principles I used today. To pick these colors out in the palette. It's just using the photo. But if I'm really stuck or I want a challenge, then yes, I would go to Pinterest and get the color palettes from there. Sometimes my mood will also dictate the color palette I'll choose. Some days I might be in a mood for pinks or purples, and then using a color palette will help. Or if I'm stuck on what colors to go with, I'll go onto Pinterest as well. Haven't done that in a while though. What about you, Val? How do you pick the colors for your coloring pages? So I'm just going very lightly here because I don't want to color in this entire highlight. I'm going to bring in some cream here into this highlighted area, which is also going to lighten it and also keep that fleshy color going for us. Oh, okay, I'm with you, yeah. Color-alongs are a great way of coloring because you don't have to worry about all the thinking behind it. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in with my peach, and all I'm doing now is just building up my colors. And just lightly bringing down the pigment at the top here and blending it into my highlighted area. Hello Robin, how are you? Have you had a good weekend, a good week? I hear you, Val, about picking out colors. It sometimes can be so tricky. I did find though, once I got my head around the color theory, it helped a lot with picking colors. Okay, I'm going to very lightly bring in some more of that dark brown. Hi Bee, nice to see you. How are you? Ooh, Robin, enjoy the ink tints. So glad you got them. I love ink tints. They work so well as a base. Be curious to find out how you get on with them. Peter Hewitt is a great channel. She teaches and does quite a bit of work with ink tints. I learned a little bit from her. Okay, I think I'm going to bring in a bit of burnt ochre. I'm just going to brighten this up a little bit. Because these ears aren't pink, they're like fleshy pink. So by using our flesh colored pencils, we can create that skin type look to his ears. Yeah, I've got the gnomes in the neighborhood. I think they're both all Fairies in Dreamland, and then there's the mermaid one, and they're by Denise Clett. Yeah, she does have a lot of tiny details. So this is just the blush pink again. But I find, like with the tiny details, either a sharp pencil or a gel pen can work really well and be very helpful. I'm not convinced gel pens are my friend, but every now and then they do come in handy. Oh, well done, Bee. Yay that you got the gnome book. I love that book. It's such fun. Alright, I'm just going to bring in a bit of white. And my white is going to just blend out the highlight and soften everything up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side now. Yes, the birds are very cute. I love those birds. Okay, so I'm going to use a bit of beige. My beige is really itty. And I'm going to come along here and start making this like a beigey pink. I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to color in the spaces here. Maybe just lightly use the beige to go around it. Okay, so I want to bring in a bit of goldenrod, and I'm going to do it from the base up because I'm going to start bringing in some of the other colors. Yeah, Millie Marotta I think is a talented artist, but there's a way of coloring in these sort of pictures. If I'm slow to answer your comments, it's just because I'm flipping between Pinterest and the live on my laptop. I'm trying to get a feel for this page. But I think if we just stick to the main colors, we'll be all right. Okay, so now I'm going to use my dark brown and I'm going to come in here. So this is his second ear, and we won't have as much pink because it's turned away, so we'll try and make this a bit more of a grayish look with subtle pink in it. I'm going to bring in some peach beige. And then I think I'll go over this with the blush pink. There's a few color alongs you could join in Instagram for this one. There is an animals hashtag and color along. So you could definitely join that one. I don't think they do enjoy it. I think they found Millie Marotta okay in the beginning, and then they've kind of branched into, oh, we can have access to mom's coloring books and just copy them. So I'll make a copy onto other paper. They're really into different things. My one is into Pokemon, the other one's into Superman and superheroes. Sometimes gods, the Greek gods and the Roman gods, that's popular. So no, they haven't colored in Millie Marotta in a while now. Although when they were coloring in it, they did a pretty good job. And one kid used Inktense in the one page. Did a kangaroo in Inktense and decided that couldn't be bothered to do it realistically. Not that I blame him. I think you have to ignore all the details and just look at the overall shape. I can show you a couple in here, yes, with pleasure. If you don't mind watching me page through. So let's see. There's a whip. I think this was my eldest. There you go. So that was one of his early ons. He didn't finish it. I think they found with pencils it just takes too long. So there's that one. Let's have a look. Then he did this one. And he really enjoyed this one, and he was very proud of it. Couldn't be bothered with the background. I don't know if he's done much more in here though. Oh, then he started the octopus as well. And he was using Black Widow, so the Cobra set, because I got him the Cobra set for that. And he started on the sailfish, and what I quite liked is he was starting to blend a few colors together. But they prefer coloring with alcohol markers. There you go. So these are manta rays, I think. And yeah, that's all of what they've done in this book. Nothing really, and that's all my eldest, because it's his book that I've asked to borrow. I think the other one might be on my shelf. Give me a sec, let me have a look. No, the other one I think is upstairs in one of the bedrooms. And I think that one might have been Woodlands or Wild Animals or something like that. Oh, thank you, Val. Yes, I think he is talented. He wants to take his art a little bit further this year, which I'm really thrilled about. I do think that they should do more in art because it's such a good skill. You know, you can go and use it into graphic design, architecture, technical drawing. There's many ways that they can use art. Okay, so just coming back here, and we're going to add a bit of peach. He made himself a bookmark the other day, and I was really impressed with how he did it. Oh, thank you, Val, you're very sweet. I appreciate that. Alright, I'm going to use some peach. And I'm going to deepen the shadows here with this dark brown. No, he made his own bookmark. He cut out cardstock, a rectangular piece of cardstock, drew on it, took markers, the Ohuhu markers, and colored it in. And I saw it, I think it was last night or the night before. And I said to him, he did a really great job, and I would absolutely be thrilled to have a bookmark like that. And it's also an option for, instead of doing birthday cards, he can make bookmarks, or instead of thank you cards, he can make a bookmark. Because there's a few people in the family who I think would love a bookmark, handmade. And also a couple of his friends. Because I'm one of those moms that encourages my children to, every time they get a gift, do a thank you card and, send it through. I'm a bit old-fashioned in that way. Okay, so now I'm going to start working on the nose, which has more pinky colors, so we won't have as much gray. So we'll come in with the blush pink, and I might even pull out a deeper pink than this. I'm just going to come out with the peach and just blending it in and out so that they blend together. And then I've got my white, just blend it out. I'm just going to get a deeper pink for his nose. I think it needs a bit of a deeper pink. So PC 929, which is called pink. Just here very much in the tips. And then the blush pink. And what I've found with coloring is if you have a few pencils that are close in shade, so you take the pink, the blush pink, and even the peach, they blend quite seamlessly into each other. And that's also a way that you can, if you are struggling with your blending, it will help, is keeping those colors close to each other. And then obviously you've got your layers. Back in with the pink. And some more blush pink just to pull it out a bit. Okay, so this section of his face is lighter shades, so we're gonna try work on lighter stuff. So I'm going to use beiges, whites, cream, maybe a very little bit of the goldenrod. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to use my cream to lay a base layer along here. I'm actually going to color this in like this. And this is going to help me get the shape going. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. Okay, I'm going to use a bit of blush pink in here. And the dark pink. The peach. Back in with the pink. Okay, so now I'm going to take my beige and I think we're going to go this way. So we're going to make this side lighter. I'm really relying right now on my reference photo to guide me, because it's quite tricky. It's a great challenge. I like challenges. And now I'm going to bring in very lightly some goldenrod. Okay, now I went too far down with that, so I'm going to just knock it back with my white. Bring back in some of my cream and just blend this out. And then I'm going to bring in some of my beige, peach beige. Which is going to come along here. And the tips underneath his eye are going to be left white. This is going to be beige, peach beige. These gaps here. slightly along here. I want to leave a bit of the white of the paper to create a white highlight, so that we're creating his ear. So I'm going to come along here with my white pencil and just reinforce my white highlight. Alright, now I'm coming in with my Beige Sienna. Yeah, I think with Millie's books you really have to try and work with shape more than these fine details. Okay, so we have some areas here which have the dark brown in them. So we'll just add them here. Maybe a few here. Okay, so I'll do underneath his eye. We'll make that a bit of a grey, and we'll weave it up here. And then we've got the Beige Sienna. Just come out with it and blend it out. Okay, so I'm going to use a bit of the Beige Sienna in a few places along here. And this is the white, just doing my highlights here along the side. I'll bring in a little bit of this orangey red, especially going up here. And then I'm going to use my beige and just blend it out. So it's quite tricky because I'm seeing quite a lot of light areas along here. So we bring the beige in between here. Maybe some more peach beige up here. And then I think in between here we can bring in some more peach beige, because between here on the picture I'm seeing what looks like peach beige along here. I'm going to lay down some goldenrod along here, because at the back of this ear I'm seeing a lot more golden. And then down the back it's alternating between golden and the dark browns. So if we lay a base layer along here, so kind of coming down quite far down, I'm going to zoom you in a little bit more. Yes, this picture is very challenging. It's okay. I'll do the hard work and then you just follow along. Hopefully I don't screw up, and then you've got all the hard work done for you and just go along. I like it though. I like a challenge. When I was little I used to sit with DVD covers and try draw the animated DVD covers. So this really is not it. This is really working for me. And it won't look exact, but it will have the idea, and that's all that we're really going for, is the idea. So I'm going to leave some of this a bit more white. So right now I'm just looking at the reference photo and trying to just see where does the shading go where. and it will all make sense when it comes together. So like this section here is a lot lighter, so there you'll probably use more of like a cream as a base layer, so we can bring that in. And in here, there's a bit of cream in here. So this is what I think they call putting in your values. And you would do the same thing when you do actual fur. So we're not going to do fur because of all the drawings, but if you were doing fur, you would be putting down your values before you even start doing your hair strokes. So along here is all going to be darker because his body is kind of blocking the shade, blocking any light. So this is really going to be quite dark. I was actually hoping I could have found this picture colored in by a more experienced colorist, so we could actually see how they've done it and then just copy it. But this is also how one can learn and grow with the way we color is by looking at reference photos and kind of saying, okay, well, I've got this as my photo, how do I interpret it? And sometimes it's just really starting with colors and working with the colors, and then you can progress from there. But I think it's also adapting to what you see in your coloring book, because I don't think every artist's style lends itself to coloring like a photo or realistic. I think you can just draw the colors from it and interpret it accordingly. So I'm just trying to get an idea of more where the shadows would fall, where the fur would be lying, but then I'll color within Millie's drawing, because I don't want to change the style of her drawing. I don't feel that would be fair. Okay, so this is Beige Sienna. Oh, don't worry, Val, you and me both. Okay, so we're gonna come down here, and this side is going to be a bit grayer. And then as it comes down here, so this is the ear and it's going to attach to the body, it's going to start becoming more gray here. So along this side here. I want a bit of peach in here. So these are still part of his ears, so I'm just continuing to just tweak this and build this up. I think there are also times where you have to just stop looking at a photo and then make it your own, especially when you have your values down. Oh well, Robin, I'm glad you're enjoying the Inktense. Yes, I love the vibrancy of their colors compared to watercolor pencils. I always find watercolor pencils are just a lot more watered down, and I'm not sure if I like that. But then again, I have heard that watercolor pencils are, and even watercolors are, one of the harder mediums to learn. So this is the blush pink. Yeah, Inktense are super smooth. It's interesting though, I've noticed that some of the people who use the Inktense blocks and they compare the Inktense blocks to the Inktense pencils, it almost comes across to me that the Inktense blocks aren't as good as the Inktense pencils, which I thought is quite useful to know, because I'd rather just stick to the pencils if they're just easier to use and better pigment and react better. Okay, so now I'm going to use my white pencil and just try blend this out. So I'm trying to keep this portion of his ear and his face. I want it to be quite light because I'm imagining that my light source is coming more from this side of the page. I'm going to bring in a bit more of the sienna. And I'm just using a light pressure. Because I don't want him yellow, I want him like beigey, sandy colors. Because as we mentioned earlier, this creature lives in Mongolia and China in the desert. So we want him to have that sandy kind of look to him, even though he is quite, he's got quite pale fur. I might come in with a bit more goldenrod. And I'm using light pressure because I don't want to be too heavy-handed. I want my colors to have enough pigment, but also to not make it too yellow or too gray or anything. I'm trying to get the balance as accurate as I possibly can at this point in my coloring journey. Oh, cool, Robin. It's probably worth just looking into some of the other colorist channels and seeing what they found, because it might also be that it's just inexperience with the Inktense blocks, and that might be part of it. I'm a bit more cautious and tend to do things a bit more cautiously if I see that people are struggling. So I'm not as adventurous in that way. Okay, I'm going to bring in a bit more of this Beige Sienna. And then I'm going to use some peach beige. I'm going to try and remove my line here. I'm going to blend that out with some beige, because beige blends out very well with Beige Sienna. So do you all color with specific goals in mind that you would like to achieve, or do you just color by mood? What's your preferred way? So I need some whites because I need to bring in lighter colors here. Hi Carly, it's great to have you. Hi Coloring for Fun, it's great to have you too. How was your week and your day? Are you well? Ooh, what coloring books did you pick up? Love to hear. So this is just my dark brown. Yeah, I've decided I'm going to start saving up for Christmas. So at Christmas time, I can spoil myself with a whole bunch of coloring books, and I can maybe buy a few things off Etsy, because Etsy has got, the postage is ridiculous. But there are some coloring books that you can only get on Etsy. So I thought if I start saving now, then I can maybe treat myself at Christmas time. Wow, that sounds fun. Color and frame, 3 books. 3 books in one. I'll have to check for that one. I like that it has animals and seasons. That could be fun. Oh wow, a spiral. That's cool. So then you don't have to worry about the spine breaking. That's really cool. Okay, I want to do the eye now, so I'm going to use black. So I'm going to bring it up quite a bit. I always think animals look great when you do their eyes. It just suddenly makes everything look alive. So I'm going to use some white just to turn this into grey. And I'm going to bring in some dark brown, which is just going to add to his eye and take away any flatness from the black. There's too much black and you can create flat. And then we'll get some Uniball Signo pen. And we'll put in a bit of a just scratch away any bits that we don't like. There we go. Carly, I'm using Prismacolor pencils. I also have a list for Polychromos. I did swatch both of them, so just bring it back up to speed. That's the polys. I would say Ivory, Cream, Sanguine, Terracotta, Green Gold, Nougat, Bister, Walnut Brown, Beige Red, Cinnamon, obviously your white and your black, and it kind of gives you those sort of colors. And then this side is the Prismacolors, and that's what I'm using. Oh no! Oh dear, I don't want him to look like he's been punched. Oh dear, okay, well, let's see if I can fix it. Alright, let's work on his eyes, see if I can fix it. We don't want him to look like he's being punched. We want him to look cute. Oh, there we go. He does have a lot of grey around his eye though, so let's see. What can we do? Alright, this is the Beige Sienna. Let's see. Let's see if we can fix this. Keep that there and we lighten the top. So let's use some peach, sorry, not peach, cream, and just lighten the top up. So I'm alternating between black and Beige Sienna, just trying to do this eyelid here. Because his eyeball actually needs to be closer to up here for it to really work. So I'm trying to darken up here. Sorry, I'm gonna go quiet because I'm trying to see if I can get this to work. Because his eyes, it's the way she's drawn it. So the eye isn't resting into these lids. She's made these like where the eye is supposed to rest. If nothing else, I'll get an eraser and just erase it. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so black here. Beige Sienna. we'll do some cream. And some white. This is some sienna brown. Some peach beige. This is Millie Marotta's Curious Creatures. Does he look better? Okay, as long as he looks better. You don't want him looking like he had a run-in with a bear or something. Well, not that you would get bears in the desert. Alright, we don't want him coming out worse after meeting a desert snake or a desert lizard. So white. Let's clean this up. Okay, so I managed to zoom in on this picture, my reference photo, and we're going to use some of the dark brown. I want to create a few more of these highlights. Not highlights, sorry. So I think what I'm going to do is have Millie's pick designs, the lighter areas, and between that we can have some of the darker areas. I'm going to do some peach beige in here. And then I'm going to do some goldenrod up here. Some beige sienna and just blend this into here. So even though we've got these different colors, they need to blend into each other for it to kind of look connected. So this is the blush pink. And then I'm going to get a bit more rose pink. Sorry, no, that I used peach. This is the blush pink. And then we'll blend out with beige. Some peach. Bye, Robin. Have fun. Thanks for popping in. We'll see you later. So I'm just using my dark brown to bring in some of those shadowed areas in the fur. Okay, so here I'm going to rely on Goldenrod and the Beige Sienna and possibly the beige peach and the beige, because this side of the fur so this is just beige, and then here I come in with the cream. And this is peach beige. So I want a little bit of the goldenrod. And I might also bring in some of the burnt sienna. So I'm using a light pressure because I don't want it very strong in this area. This is quite a light area. And then I'm going to use some beige. And then I want some beige sienna in here. I'm going to come in with my cream. And I want a bit of white to lighten up here. Okay, so let's do some beige along here. And we need some beige sienna here. And a little bit of dark brown. Then some white. I want a little bit of the goldenrod in here. Some beige sienna. And then some cream. Some peach beige. Actually, that looks more like his hand. tucking under. So that needs to actually be more pink. Sorry guys. So we'll do and some peach. And then beige sienna. So it's not a bright pink, but it's more of a shadowed pink. And then white to soften them and blend them together. Okay, so here I'm going to use some dark brown. And this looks like it's a leg, you know, the top of a leg. And then here comes his feet. So his feet are also a mixture of pinks and whites and browns. So this will be dark. Then along here, along here would be dark. So I'm just trying to draw in his feet. And then the top here will be lighter, so it's kind of going to go backwards. So then we come in with peach. Oh, it's a good question, Val. I have a whole Amazon wish list. I'm quite keen to get Ivory's latest book. I also want to get Romantic Country, the first tale. What else? I've got my eye on Hannah Carlson's latest book. When it comes out on Amazon, I'll buy it. And then I'm also looking into getting Rita Berman's Asia book. I've actually found I've really enjoyed Rita Berman this year. Last year I struggled to get interested in her designs. I found them quite challenging, but this year I'm getting used to them and I'm really enjoying them. I'm quite keen, I'm toying with the idea to get some Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Not 100% sure yet. I want to get some iridescent watercolors, just a small set, so I can add that in my backgrounds. What else? I'd have to actually hop onto Amazon, because I regularly go onto Amazon, and when I'm watching videos I'll go there and I'll have a look and see what other people are interested in, and then decide if I like what I'm seeing. And then if I do, I go into Amazon and see if it's available, add it to my wish list. So yeah, that's kind of how I do it. I'm kind of toying with getting a Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones coloring book, because it's got quite nice. There's a few Creative Haven books I want to get, some Marty Noble books. Sometimes I think about Hannah Lynn and then I'm not sure. I definitely want to get some of the latest mythographic books. Then yeah, I'd say those are amongst probably the top ones. I enjoy portraits as well. I might, yeah, I'm not even sure if I want to get some more pencils. I'm quite happy with the polys and the Prismas that I do use. And then, oh, there's one on Etsy I want to get. It's a Japanese book called, I think it's Yuri. It's super cute, my goodness. But it all depends on how much I've saved at the end of, you know, by December, and then I'll decide then what I want to get. What sort of books are you hoping to get in the future? I love listening to other people's ideas, because there's so much that we can get, and there's so much out there. And then, of course, for those of you who like Joanna Basford, she's releasing her new book soon. So I think that's going to be on a lot of people's wish lists. Okay, so now I want to come in with some blush pink. And all this does with the brown is it just changes it into a bit more of a grey kind of look. that makes sense. I think it also depends on what your interests are. But yes, I completely understand that. I found one of the reasons I got Prismas was because I found a lot more color-alongs with Prismacolors than I did with Castle Arts. And even polys, there aren't a lot of color-alongs with polys. People tend to prefer Prismacolors. I stuck to Prismas for this picture because I know they can blend well and I don't have to worry about loads of layers in these little spaces because that would just test my patience. But I do like using polys in bigger pictures. Okay, I'm coming back in with my peach. I don't know if there's a lot of color-alongs with Millie Marotta's books. I don't know, maybe. Is she still popular, do you guys think? I know Kirby Rosanna's, Janet Basford, Hannah Carlson, they're amongst your quite popular colouring books. And Ivory's Romantic Country, you can get quite a few color-alongs there. That Pop Manga by Erica, oh gosh, I forgot her name. What's her name? I saw it here. Oh, what's her name? Oh, Camilla de Erico. You can get a few of those. I don't know if that's your style. Mythographics are quite popular. Hannah Lynn is quite popular. He's got quite pink feet. So we'll come in with a bit more of that beige sienna. Yeah, Risa Berman is quite popular. She definitely does have a very unique and consistent style. Maria Trolle, yes, isn't her new book Moon Valley? I am thinking of getting that one. I have earmarked it. I do have Twilight Garden. I think I just haven't spent enough time in Maria Trolle's books to really appreciate it. And then I found with her drawing, she keeps like her flowers are themed, so a lot of the same flowers. And then I only noticed that a while after I started coloring a couple of pages, and then, you know, I wondered, oh, maybe I should theme the book instead and make sure I color all the cone flowers the same colors and all. So I think I've gone and thrown myself into a bit of a block when it comes to Maria Trolle. but I must just actually just get over it. Okay, well, that's cool that you guys like Maria Trolle. I make an effort to do a couple of color alongs in that thing. To be honest, that's part of the reason why I've gotten used to Rita Berman and actually quite enjoy her now, is because I've been doing quite a few pictures and color alongs on the channel, and the more I've colored in Rita Berman, the more I've enjoyed her work. So maybe it will be the same with Maria Trolle if I just actually sit down and color her and just give her a chance. Okay, I want a bit more blush pink in here. Okay, cool. What about Clara Markova? Anybody enjoy Clara Markova? I only have her one book. I might actually get one of her later books, her newer books. I think it's Fairy Celebrations or something like that. I quite like the paper. She has good paper, and I find it works well for layering. Okay, I'm coming in with Peach. So I think after I'm finished with this one, I might actually go into Little Town 6 by Tatiana Bogema and possibly do a page in there, because that's also been a requested video. The other option would be to do something out of Leila Dooley's Flower Year coloring book. You can also do that. I am going to be filming a tutorial soon in the Flower Year again for August. The boys are away 2 days this week, so I'll have some time by myself to just okay, then I will focus on Nice Little Town 6 and Maria Trolle. And I've also just gone and finished the tutorial showing you how to color puzzle pieces on a kind of like wallpaper type page and coloring book. I did use a Rita Berman book for that one, but it was more because it fitted in with the idea and how I felt you could use those circles and puzzle pieces. Okay, I think I'm going to leave his feet now. I'm not thrilled with the way they've been blended. His tail is also quite pinky, so we can have a look there. Yeah, so his tail is also quite peachy pink, so I might do that, but I think in the middle there I'm going to leave it white. Don't worry, Val, if I'm not interested in coloring a page, I won't color it. Don't worry. I do appreciate suggestions from people, because when I was blogging and trying to set up a business there with my website, it was not coloring related at all. I was actually trying to set up a life coaching business, and I learned a lot during those, I think it was 5 years that I was blogging, maybe less, and I learned a lot about how important it is to create content that other people will read or be interested in. It was So the whole thing, even though it was my website and I was writing, it wasn't always about what I wanted to write. It was about creating things that were interesting for other people. And so I kind of take the same approach with my channel. Even though it's my channel and I can do whatever I want, I do take into a lot of consideration what people want to see, what's out there, what's missing. So for instance, coloring more with Polychromos is a good idea because there is more tutorials with Prismas than with polys. So that helps to set my channel apart from other channels. So I kind of do take a look at it from that angle as well. But yes, if I really can't get myself to color something in, I won't do a video at all, which is part of the reason why I'm not doing Nice Little Town 6 at the moment. Every time I open the book, I just close it. It's like, no, I can't. But sometimes it's also good to push through and break blocks. Would anybody be interested in a color theory video? I've been thinking about doing a color, not a color along, just a video talking about color theory and how it works and how you can use it in your coloring. So would that be useful to anyone? He has one hang of a long tail. My goodness me. I think he's smaller than a chinchilla. I've seen some chinchillas at one of the animal shelters nearby. And they've got these beautiful big eyes, massive, similar feet, but big ears. I think they're bigger size than these Jerobas. Oh, you're very sweet, Val. Thank you. Okay, I think his tail I'm going to do shades of brown and grey. So let's bring in Beige Sienna. Right now I can't even think of a background for this page. I don't know, maybe a blue. I see, I don't always want to be doing a blue background. Yeah, I think color theory is a good one. It's something that isn't always easy to get one's head around, and yet, you know, with coloring we use it so often, and I think it will just really be a useful one. So this is the dark brown. And then I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of the peach beige. And then I'll do some white. And then I'm going to come into the tips again with the dark brown. And then the peach beige. Okay, so then the pink side of his tail, we're going to need the blush pink, which is this one, and just come into the tips. So this section here, the way you color it, you could also color rope with. So you do the one side darker, the tip lighter, dark light, and you can use the same technique for coloring rope. Okay, so here. So here in the middle, we want it to be quite white, so it's creating a bit of a highlight. I'm just going to finish the tail and then I'm going to say goodnight because I don't want to keep you too late and I can easily get caught up in this. So I'm going to come back in with a bit of pink to these deeper areas here. I think I'm just going to do the side here. And then I'm going to use a white to kind of blend it in, either a white, I might even use a cream. And blush pink. Okay, so now I'm going to use white and a bit of cream. Come along here, and I'm just going very lightly. Because it just makes it a bit more vibrant. And then the white pencil, just blend it out. If you don't want to use the pencil to fill in between each small detail, then don't worry about it. It's just my brain making sense of the page. But you can still get a really beautiful effect without worrying about in between everything. So I need some peach here. And I'm just trying to remove a very hard line so that it looks more natural. And I also find if I go one way, if I go the other way, it helps to blend smoothly as well. Some peach here. He is a cute guy. He is a very cute little thing. Okay, there we go. I think the tail is done. It's very difficult to get into some of these places and deepen everything up, and I don't want him overly pink. But then again, you know, mice, especially your white mice, the lighter the mouse, the more pink the tail is. So I suppose we could get away with the pink tail. Right, I think that's me done for today. I think he's coming out really cute, and I really like this color combination here. So I might see how I can bring that combination down into the bottom here. I don't know, I might rub stuff out when I come back and have a fresh mind on it. So we'll see how it goes, but it will get done, and it will look really, really cute when he's done. And maybe we'll do a background, maybe we won't, I'm not sure. So thank you so much for joining me. It's always lovely to color with you and spend an evening together. And I really appreciate you stopping by and commenting and talking to me and letting me know when I create punched eyes so we can fix it. And I really value your input, so thank you so much. And thanks, B, glad you like it. Yeah, so I hope everyone has a lovely weekend and a great week. We'll be back to Friday lives, and I will see you all next week Friday and in some of my other videos coming up. So take care everyone, have a lovely weekend.